interaction. Also, as you use the Zoom platform, be active as we join this platform to mute your microphone. If you are unmute and mute, but if you have the permission, you want to ask a question, please go ahead to use the mute and unmute button. Also, make use of the raise hand button and raise hand feature if you want to ask any questions. Also, we expect that because this is a formal gathering, do well to dress properly and also activate your video, because if you want to ask a question, we want to know who's asking the question, please. So do well to activate your video. Because the formal gathering, do not eat while the sessions are ongoing. Do not eat when the sessions are ongoing. And I expect that everyone will stay focused and stay present, because we are here tonight so that we can pick out something that can improve and increase our own careers. Very, very important. So please, let's stay present, let's stay focused. It's very, very important. All right. Let's just a reminder again. Okay, looking at the chat group, we have Stephen from Abuja, Akin Abimboboye from Lagos as well. Okay, let's still have those of us that are coming in. Please, we want to know where you're joining in from. Okay, I'm super excited today, and something just to bring to your notice, something that we've introduced for the past 1 month here. Pastor Niyi has also tried to give 10 minutes to his prodigies, someone that will come to give an icebreaker, to give an appetizer just before we go ahead with the teaching for the day. Not to forget, we have no resolve, no respect for today. So the person of Dr. Vera, she will be the one that will take the first 10 minutes just to give us an appetizer concerning the topic we are having today. So she's going to lay the foundation with which Pastor Niyi is going to come in and build on tonight. So I don't know, Dr. Vera, are you in the house? Are you ready? Are you ready to take the floor? Give me a thumbs up if you are ready, so we can hit the ground running. Excellent, excellent. So Dr. Vera James is here to join us. So please, with a resounding welcome, let's welcome Dr. Vera as she comes in to give us the preamble, the icebreaker before Pastor Niyi comes in. Please, round of applause. Go to the chat room, welcome her. Let's just welcome her as she takes the floor. Dr. Vera, the floor is yours. Dr. Vera, you are muted, so unmute yourself, please. Okay, while we wait for her to unmute herself, please go to the chat room.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Good evening. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to unmute here, but it still said that the host has not given me the permission yet. No, so can you all hear me? Okay, can you hear me?
Dr. Vera, I can hear you.
Okay, yes, fantastic. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Pastor Niyi, thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts, more like an icebreaker before you come in. I want to say I appreciate. And okay, let me quickly share my screen. Sorry, just give me a few seconds to do that. Okay, so thank you so much, Pastor Niyi. Like I said earlier, I'm grateful for this opportunity to share. I'll just be talking a bit about leadership and results, and that's what Pastor Niyi will be talking to us later on about. First, I want us to address something that we most likely know, we all know, according to John Maxwell. Everything I'm going to be sharing today will be based on my understanding of John Maxwell's levels of leadership. That's where I want to break the ice from. Okay, so leadership, we all know, is influence, and it's important we understand that as leaders, whether we are organizational leaders, whether we are employers of labor, whether we are leaders in our departments, we all are influencing someone per time, and it's important we have that knowledge when we do things that we do. Now, the next question would be, what kind of influence are you? A positive one or a negative one? So we want to be sure that we're making great influence. And then to get results, we must understand that we must increase our influence. I mean, you cannot get results from staying or remaining in the status quo. So that's why I want to share with us with John Maxwell's levels of leadership. Okay, the first level talks about position. The position level of leadership, many of us already know this, so this is just like a refresher, is where people will follow you because they have to. Now, it means that everybody working on your team, your staff, they will follow you because they really do not have a choice. And this is where we all start from. I mean, this is like the basic place. So when you get an assignment or you're asked to lead a group, or rather asked to lead a team or head a team, whatsoever, anything like that, the next thing is everybody would want to do what they need to do because number one, probably your paycheck is in their hands, or maybe they look up to you for maybe promotion or whatever it is. So this is where every leader starts from, the place of position, wherever you are, whether you are a president or whatever. The first level would be the level of position, where your influence will not go beyond your line of job description. So everybody working with you will work for you because they do not have a choice. They just have to work for you. They have to be on your team because somebody has said you have to be on the team working with Vera. All right. So the sad thing why leaders shouldn't stay here is that once you lose your title, once you lose that position, you have lost influence. And so because today we're looking to building impact and having results, you don't want to stay here. Because if you stay here, the kind of results you will have as a leader would be basic. And this is where everybody, so it's important that we take the next step. And the next step is permission. All right. So this is where people follow you because they want to. How does this happen? I always tell people when I talk, especially to teachers, you cannot teach a child who has not given you the permission to teach him or her. This is applicable to every one of us. You cannot get your staff to work to the point of giving you maximum results if they have not permitted you. Now, how do you get their permission to lead? You get their permission to lead when you build relationships with them. How do you do this? Beyond saying, okay, it's a good thing to do, to ask them how they're doing, that's very key, very important. But another important thing I like to share when I talk about relationships is the fact that even you as an individual, your decisions are sincere. Many leaders, of course, that's what is the status quo in Nigeria. When you see an insincere leader, such leaders do not make any, they don't deliver. They don't have results. So the sincerity of heart of a leader or the sincerity of purpose of a leader is very key. While building relationships, one thing stands out, and that's love. Love is quite intangible, but it is tangible. It is something that people will see. And can't just fake it too much. Some people can fake it, but the truth is, even when you fake it, you lose it with time. This is where, as a leader, you care for your team members beyond the job. And if you do this, your team members, they know that Vera wants me. She's happy that I am alive. She wants me not to die. She wants me to be healthy. And that's why she takes the decision that she takes. Not when a team member calls you and says, oh, I'm not feeling too well today, just for one day. And the next thing you're asking is, I need to see the doctor's report. I know some people, company policies thrive on that, but I don't, that's my personal opinion though. There are times that some people might feel up to it. And you understand, the truth is, it happens to me as well. When somebody says, I can't do this today, I'm not available to work. And the first thing, there's this wave that comes to your head, what do I do, what do I do? But as a leader, you know that if that person does not come to work for that day, the organization will not grind if you have a proper system in place. So you need to also look beyond your job. You need to also look beyond the fact that we must achieve. If you love your staff very much and they also know that you are sincere. They also know that you care about them beyond the job. They also know that they've been able to build trust with you. They also know that you respect them. Then rest assured you will get results from those people with time. You just have to build relationship and you will get the best from them. Now, I like to use this example. Pastor Emmanuel says when he was working somewhere, people will hardly want to go home. Not because of their salary, not because of anything else, but probably because of what he has invested in their life. I mean, they know that this thing is not just about this job with this man. And so I'm ready to give all. I'm ready to do everything. So if you have your team members, the first thing you want to do when you have gotten the position, the next thing you want to do is to be able to build relationships with them. And it will go a long way. I like to ask team members about their family. I like to call them to ask them their birthdays. These two things, albeit little, they are very key and very important. Now, the truth is, don't stay here too long. Because yes, it's somewhere where you should stay to build it and all that, but it is unwise if you stay here too long, because there are people on your team that are very, what's the word now? They're very driven, they're ambitious, they are people who are motivated. Now, if you're so you don't stay there for too long. And then when you have given them the permission to lead, rather when they have gotten the permission, when they're giving you the permission to lead them, then it is now easy for you to get to the next level, which is the production level. Now everyone on your team is ready to work for you or work with you to achieve the aim of the organization. At this point, they will follow you because of what you have done for the organization. And this is results. They see you. This is the point where you can't fake it anyway. At this point, you must be results driven. You must have something in your head, because what you want to achieve with your staff, beyond relationships, there are goals. There are bottom line of the organizations that has to be met. So this is where, as a leader, competence is also very important. I think Koshibero spoke to us sometime about that. Competence is very key and important, because yes, you built the relationship, but what is the next thing, sir? What are we here for? This is where you build, this is where you begin to get little respect, because they see the things that you have done for the organization. They see you as a problem solver. Then they know that there is something in my Oga's head. He's not just a blockhead. And then because you have something in your head, you're able to drive the team. You're able to drive them towards actualization. You're able to drive them towards, you would see potentials on your team members. You're able to identify it, structure them properly, get them to work, build your team, delegate. It is at this point you begin to make results, or rather begin to achieve results. Now, it's important we understand that the position level, the permission level, the production level still stays. Even though you are on the third level, still remember that you still have a position. Still remember that you still need their permission to work. So you need to, the balance is very key. Now, even at the level of production, you don't stay here. You move on to the next level, which is the people development. Now, remember we said, at the production level, they are following you because of what you have done for the organization. At the people development level, which is the reproduction level, they are following you because of what you have done for them. Now, how do you do this? You're able to put in yourself into the people that work with you. It has gone beyond you now. You know, when you were at the production level, it was more of, oh, Vera is a hard worker. Our leader is fantastic. She's able to do X, Y, Z. When there's a problem, she solves, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. But if you want lasting results, you cannot even stay there. You need to be able to build people, build structures, I would use Pastor Niyi Adesanya as a perfect example. At this level where he builds people, now you can say, I can't attend this program. Let me ask XYZ to go represent me, and you're not shaking. And the truth is, before you can really thrive on the people development level, it means you must be a secure leader. And this is where long-lasting results stays. You would find that you have mentored people so well. You find that you have many unique people. And sometimes you will also find that many yous might even be more valuable than you. And that's where security comes into play. So it's important that when you are releasing to your members, you also have to sleep to continue. Yes, but you still have to keep working. We learn and we learn and learning every day. Is the scene. Pastor Niyi keeps saying this sometimes. If you are not able to build people, you will not have lasting results. So I like us to stay here a bit. Okay, I won't stay here because this is not my, this is just an icebreaker, so I'll move on. I'll just give a quick example about this people development. One thing that it does for you as an individual, it helps you rest. I remember when I was in the primary classroom, and I had colleagues who were very, very worried about their seats as class teachers. And then we have associates too. And then they will say they won't allow associate teachers take decisions on the job and all that. I mean, they always want to be there. And for me, I just look at this life. I cannot be here forever. So I cannot sit down so I have to build the person in my class. So they wonder, Vera, you're giving this person too much and this, that. But the truth, one day came, I got my admission to go for a PhD program. I needed 1 day off work every week. At the time I went to my boss to ask for permission, she did not think twice. The only thing she said was, Vera, you have a system in your class. I will let you go. Now, for some other people, even when they are ill for 1 day, 2 days, they cannot go to the hospital because they are scared that what will happen in my class? And that's a mindset. That's just a class assignment. You please picture this in your team. If this is what you're doing, you're not going to excel too much. You're not going to have the kind of results that you demand or you deserve. Pastor Niyi keeps saying things like, we must, the title of this, of what Pastor Niyi is going to share with us is leadership and results. Results, no respect. So you need to understand that at this level, you are not just building, and I'll round off now quickly. I think my time is up. Personhood, and that's the final stage. Now, this is where leaders who have invested their years in growing individuals, they have invested their years in growing organizations and industries. For those of us who are here, I know that we have many people on this call now who are not in our community. But in the community that Pastor Niyi is building right now, where he has us, Pastor Niyi is growing beyond individuals, is growing organizations. I have an organization, Okeogene has one, Pastor Emmanuel has one. All of us on the community have our organizations, we are growing. And with the things that we're learning every time under Pastor Niyi's tutelage, it helps us to build our organization. So tomorrow, you will find that this is somebody who just has to just rest somewhere, in quotes, because consistently he has built individuals, he has built organizations, he has built industries. We just don't want to joke with that. So if you want to become a leader who will be respected, you must, when you are on this level of production, don't stay here too much, because at the level of production, you are producing and you are still the star. Take the next step, produce and reproduce yourself. The Bible says that we will bear fruit and our fruit will remain and abide. I mean, that's the best way I can explain this. So reproduce yourself. After that, you will now begin to reproduce organizations. You will have a fifth gear one, fifth gear two. They may not be called fifth gear. I'm just saying. And that's one other person that does this well in Nigeria is Reverend Sam Adeyemi. If you check out all of the pastors that he releases, they are able to build churches that are standard, that have systems in place. So this is something that we must work towards. If it's just about you, then I'm sorry, you're not yet delivering. For you to get to the point where you must build respect, your results must be lasting in that the results must stay. All right, so final analysis, I'm ending. If your leadership is not yielding results, if your leadership is yielding lasting results, you will be ignored. So watch it. If your result is not lasting, if your result is just for you alone, you will soon be ignored. But by the time you have built results such that you're able to build system, people are attached to you, successes are attached to you, organizations are attached to you, then I'm sure you will not expire. I'll be rounding off now. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I hope it was worth our while. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Vera, thank you so much. You have done so well. Personally, I've picked a lot from what you have delivered tonight. Let's go to the chat box and let's just talk to her. Let's just say thank you, Vera. Thank you, Vera. Like you can see on the screen, those are her details. If you want to follow her on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, quickly take a note of that so you can also reach out to her. Let's go to the chat box and say, Vera, thank you. I don't know if it's just myself, but I've picked a lot as she has spoken about influence for a leader, talked about position, talking about permission, growing to production. These are stages that we need to grow to ensure that we are growing our influence. Once more, Vera, thank you. Without taking so much time, I think the main for the day, I think almost ready to close for us today. So, Pastor Niyi, I know we're ready for you now. And please, let's go to the chat box as well, just to thank Vera. And as well, even as we put a clapping ovation, Pastor Niyi, let's welcome Pastor Niyi. But before he comes up, let me just mention about the Pastor Niyi business professional community. I don't know, those of us that are here, how many of us are part of that community? It is a community that that was recently formed that is paying attention to professionals, both in their career and also in their business, where our goal there is to ensure that anyone that joins that community in 3 months, in 90 days, you are going to progress to the first 10% in your business. And that is very key. You are no more part of the lot, but you are part of the first 10% in your community. And that is not where we want to end our OASIS. We want to move that from 10% to the first 1% in your career area. So this is very important. We have set goals and we have begun already. So for the past 1 month, we've been running and we'll be making progress. So we had our last meeting on weekend on Sunday, and it was a wonderful time. Pastor Niyi taught us a lot of things we need to do. And most importantly, it is the network we are forming that is so important. The network of professionals and how we are supporting one another. So please do well to join. I think for now, it's still 50,000 naira to join. It's not about the cost for it, but it's about the benefit you are going to get out of that. So without much ado, let's welcome the one and only PNA, Pastor Niyi Adesanya. I'm sure he's ready. With a clap ovation, let's go to the chat room and let's welcome Pastor Niyi as he comes. Pastor Niyi, please, the floor is yours.
Oh yeah. Good evening, everyone. Long time no see.
DJ play that happy music.
Okay. DJ, can I have my floor? Can I have the floor? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. It's been a long time. It's been quite some time. And long time means 2 weeks now we've not seen. And last week we actually couldn't hold because my heart was heavy. I couldn't even think straight based on what happened in my country, Nigeria. And the only thing I could do, instead of me coming online and be blabbing or be ranting and be cussing, the best thing for me was to just pull back and get myself together. And so unfortunate that such a massacre happened in our country. And then we pray to God that God really, really help us to solve this this problem and this challenge that we have in our country. And everybody, what happened at the Lekki toll gate, you know that we are dealing with very unreasonable people. So unreasonable people demands unreasonable strategies. And I hope the people who are more like the front runners in the protest can come together and then come up with more like a winning strategy. We're talking about this year, anything that is not led would be in chaos. And I know the strategy there was nobody should it's not an organization that is to be led. You don't have a leader, but even if you don't have a leader, you should have a representation. But this is not a time to apportion blames here or there, but we just know that we need to come back and then re-strategize. But it's a wonderful day, it's an awesome day. And then I want to say our heart goes to the people who have lost loved ones and who have lost their properties. I would like to say at this point, if you have anybody that you know was badly affected by this looting in Lagos, especially, we want you to send. I would like Emmanuel Onoha to share. I don't know what it is. Let me do this. Please, Sandra, please share your details with them so that they can contact us and our support, our help, one way or the other. So please make sure you are helping people also in your own domain every point in time, please. It's so sad, but we have to move on. We have to re-strategize on the reasonable people we're dealing with, and then we have to have some unreasonable strategy also. Thank you for offering help people around you. And then if people that want to assist who lost one or two things, you can also contact the number that will be shared on the platform. Blessing, please, I want to share your number on the platform. Thank you. So you can also do that. And email is the blessing.sunday at FeedCare Plus. So please send in your details, and if you want to be of support to anybody, you want us to do it together, you can also share your details with her so that we can take it out from there. And back to today, Vera, you did awesomely well. And now, I'm just so blessed. I'm just so blessed to have people like you around in my corner, not just in my circle, but in my corner. I'm just so blessed to have people like you. And then your teaching today means that we have to give you more job to do. You need to be exposed. The world needs to see you. Thank you so much for what you did this evening. And also, I must say good thank you to Okay Ogene. You're my man anytime, And I know you have got a lot in you there, so we have to unveil it. We have to push you out one way or another. You just have to manifest that which the Lord has placed inside. And also, there's a training going on right with one of my clients, Manuel or Noha, and the yesterday. You know what that means? That means that people who are in my corner, whenever I have any job, there are some jobs that I can't do again. For instance, I don't want to train corporate organization again. I mean, Niyi Adesanya, to train corporate organization, they must cough up the money. So if you want me to do something that is not, doesn't meet my evaluation of my worth, so I have people already around me who can do even a better job than I would do. Emmanuel was on fire yesterday. So it was on fire, yeah, I think next week. And also we have Victor Aruna. Victor Aruna is guy he also take class. We not just nobody cares how much you know until they know how to right now. I mean, we about that before. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We've seen that everywhere. Everybody said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. That is valid. That is valid. But it is not valid at the inception of your leadership. Because I don't bloody care whether you care for me or not. What will connect me to you is your result. Is your result. If you speak well, you get my attention. If you have things all around you that shows that you are making progress, you get my attention. Now, the second level will be that you need to show me some care for me to keep following you. But the initial following must be done based on results. Nobody will ever give you an opportunity because you care. Nobody. Nobody will follow you because you care for them. No. Even if you care for them, it must be based on the fact that you have a result. That's why they are following you. Just imagine. Just imagine if somebody who is not up to you, who cannot fix your life for you, who cannot make you anything, cannot progress you cannot even make any progress with the person, that same person now comes to say because they care about you, they show you care, they give you water and everything, but they are not at your level. They are not at that state where you are at level 10. This person that's showing you care is at level 1 of their life. So because they show you care, you will now give them the leadership? I don't think so. I don't think so. So that brings us back to our topic for today, that whatever we do, we must always be burning out and making sure that we have result. That's why I love what Vera said. Vera said, continuous or continuing results. Not just what time results, how you can achieve more results, because the more results you have, the more respect you have, the more you can influence people, and the more you can influence people, that is what leadership is all about. And then check this out. Okay, I'm trying to run away from this pastor thing, but I think I can't run away from it now, because now my everybody knows I'm a pastor. It's okay. I'm very comfortable with that. I'm PNA, Pastor Niyi Adesanya, I'm comfortable with that. So because they've been dragging, said that. So let me just go straight into what's it called? The Bible says to say, look at the story. Many of us know the story of Goliath, David, Goliath, and Saul. Now, Goliath came threatening the Israelites. Nobody could come out. But David stepped out. But Saul was skeptical. If you were the king, how will you allow a teenager to go fight with a veteran of war? This boy has never even fought any war before. He has only been tending sheep. Will you allow him to go fight? Nobody will allow that. But the only reason why David got that opportunity to lead Israel, because he led Israel to that battle, because it was a 1-for-1. I kill you, you submit, you kill me, we submit. That is a very, very powerful or very, very strategic negotiation, and very frightening also. But Saul allowed David to go on because David was able to show Saul results. I may be a teenager, but I've got results. I killed the bear when it came against my father's flock. I killed the lion when it came against my father's flock. So based on that, you need to give me an opportunity here to lead. So the question now is, how much of results do you have that will make us submit to you? Now, like I said, Saul was not concerned whether David cared about him or not. Saul was not concerned about that. Saul was only concerned about, oh, you have achieved so results. So you know what? You lead the army of Israel. And then again, when you look at it, you know, the encounter at the River Jordan with Jesus and John the Baptist, after John the Baptist was, Jesus was baptized. Now, you need to realize is that when Jesus was baptized, even before Jesus was baptized, John had a lot of talents because God told John that, look, wherever you see the dove resting on, this is the son, this is my son. He saw the dove resting on Jesus, and he baptized Jesus, brought Jesus out, and they all heard a voice. This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. All those words are still rhetorics, although they are prophetic, don't get me wrong, but they are still words. But when John was incarcerated, when he was in prison, he started doubting. So when you read the account in Matthew 11, what he did was to send emissary to Jesus to ask him, are you the one to come? Are you the one to come? I thought he heard God at the River Jordan. I thought he saw signs at the River Jordan. So the question now is, how come you're doubting the voice of God? How come you're doubting the signs of God? But you know what? When the emissary came to Jesus, Jesus Christ did not go into explanation. He didn't go into exegesis or trying to break down the scripture here and there and everything. When you read Matthew 11, I think verse 5, he said to the emissary, go and tell John what your eyes are seeing. In other words, he shows the emissary results. The blind is seeing, the deaf are hearing, the dumb are speaking, the dead are being brought back to life. In other words, I do not have time for explanation here. The only thing I have for you to tell John over where he is right now is that these are my results. So the question now is, guys, is that what are your results if you want us to follow you? Bottom line, based on these two instances, no results, no respect. Now, you must understand the critical importance of result in your leadership, the critical importance of result in your impact in life and influencing people. Now, the next thing I want us to talk about before we start talking about how do you get results is that, do you know results when you see it? In other words, can you recognize results? When you see it, can you recognize it? You must know what result is before you start going for results. It's just like playing football and there are no goal posts. You can never win. You just tire yourself out. So the question again is that, can you recognize the results when you see one? Yeah. So can you define results when you see one? Now, there is a definition of result as it concerns you. Yeah. Your own view. It is important, your own view. And that your own view must not be myopic. That your own view must not be an exaggerated view. Your own view must be personal to you. I tell you this, there is a difference between your own view of results. You need both, and not just the two of them. You need your view, you need the world's view, and you need God's view of results. Three views: your view, God's view, world's view, and your own view. Because you know what? If you only try to attain respect based on your own view, you will not get it from me. You will not get it from me. If your rate of your result is that you want to be content with what you have, little be it or not, that is your own definition. It is important, guys. It is important. But you will not get my result. You will not get my respect. You must know what the general worldview of result is. Now, why do you need your own view of what result is? Because that is what gives you fulfillment. That is what gives you fulfillment. Because you can achieve a whole lot, get a whole lot of things done based on the world view of results, but you are not fulfilled. You are not fulfilled because you know the things that you're trying to achieve does not resonate with your person, does not resonate with who you are. It is in conflict with your values. It is in conflict with your integrity. It is in conflict with what's the reason why you were created in the first place. Is for you to determine what result is based on your view. Your view. Now, it's a personal journey. It's called self-awareness. It's called self-discovery. It's called a whole lot of things, but it's all about self. You must discover that, and you must be able to pen it down. I remember I was talking to the community. I call them my family members on Sunday, and I was telling them what success is to me as a family. I was telling them the vision, my family vision. For me, that is success. That is for my family. For some people, that may not be success. Leaving the legacy may not be a success thing for them. For some people, maybe acquiring some big material things, having a big car and everything like that. That may be success for them, but that is for me. Now, that's one. You must be able to get that, because until you are able to articulate that, you may never get to the point of fulfillment. You may never get to the point of fulfillment. You will achieve so many things. People could be praising you, eulogizing you, and everything like that. But you get on your bed and you will be weeping until you figure that. But you're not going to influence yourself. There's a place for self-respect, guys. There's not respect. People respecting you. So you also must understand, you must understand, and it's not a big deal. I mean, I told them it's not a big deal. It's not about what you drive. It's about what drives you. Guess what, guys? There was so much rumbling and grumbling in the auditorium. And I could hear them say to me, what's the meaning of this? Is it that I don't have money to buy on that car? How can you be driving on that Civic? I mean, I'm talking about almost 3,000 people in the auditorium. They did not allow me move away from that point. I mean, we're going back and forth into argument back and forth, back and forth. I had my value, but they did. What is the meaning of all that? I mean, they were going back. No, you against 3,000 people. And then when you were in Abraka, I didn't know how many of us finished from Abraka here. And you know what I mean. Now, when it comes to Delta State, everything is all about strength and something that I don't know you must. Then one of the students now pulled my pants, my trousers. I said, sir, just agree that you buy a car when you get to Lagos. So I told them, no, I was okay, I agree with you. I will buy another car. I will not use Honda Civic again. Guess what? There was so much peace. So that is how we roll. In other words, my concept of result is different from the general view of results. And then I couldn't command their respect on that stage, on that day, because they couldn't agree with my concept of result. I realized that my concept of result is quite different from the general view when it comes to results. So you must figure that out. Number three, you also, this is the most important one, because at the end of the day, we're going to leave this earth and we're going to go out of this place to answer and to go for the time of reckoning will come. So you must also figure out what is God's concept of results. What does he see as results? What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Now, your understanding of result must be balanced across this three paths. Must be balanced. You must have your concept of what result is. Actually, your concept of what results is must be influenced by God's concept of what result is. The general view may not be influenced by God because they have their own view, but you must be able to play their game because they are the ones that you're going to influence. You're not influencing God, you are influencing those people, and you must be able to play what they consider a result. You must be able to place it on the table. Now, let me just say this, that your result also, whether it's world view or whether it's personal view, whether it's God's view, must be inspiring. Inspiring. Your result must be inspirational for you to command my respect. And let me say this, being inspirational is relative, but it must inspire me. Now, what do I mean by it's relative? You can never determine what will inspire me or what will inspire the next person. But whenever you are showing off or letting us know your result, what we look out for is number one, motivation. We look for motivate you, which motive and motivation almost falls on the same platform. Then we look at the situation. You know, somebody who is already a billionaire may not be influenced by your million naira results, but it will be influenced by your million naira results when it considers your situation or your background before you got to this position of becoming a millionaire. If you became a billionaire because you had help from families, uncles, fathers, and mothers, may not be too impressive, may not be inspirational. But if you came from a very impoverished background, that you had no opportunity at all, and then your chances of succeeding was almost 1 to 9, and odds, 1 to 9 odds, then it becomes inspirational. Then it becomes inspirational. So you must look at that. And again, one of the things that makes it inspirational is the determination. The determination with which you broke into that space. The determination in which you broke into that space. Because you know what, guys? All these things are very important because look, am I a billionaire? No, I am not. Do they listen to me? Yes, they do. Why? Because inspiration is relative. Inspiration is relative. So they listen to me. So they listen to me. Inspirational is relative. So good. So you look at determination to get motivate your determination. You know, and that's why people, when you look for, when you see people who support a lot of people who are, when you get people, the donors who bring in money into a deprived community, these are some of the things they look out for. They look at how determined you are. They look at your background, where you're coming from. That's why some people who get a lot of donors, they always know how to tell that story. I was in Morocco, I was in Makoko, I was in this, I was in that. And then those people say, wow, so you went through so much like this. Wow. They tend to believe you more, and then they allow you to influence people more. So hope you understand that. And the last one I want to talk about on this platform of inspirational is your communication. Your communication. How well do you communicate your results? Guys, you just must know how to communicate your results. I think I've said that over and over and over and over again. I will never be tired of it. You know, some people ask me a lot of questions and they say, you know what, especially if they fall into my own bucket, you know, this bucket thing by Femi Adeniba, they fall into my own bucket. You know, the bucket, you are a pastor and then you're still a consultant and then you're speaking in church. How will you get more clients from the church? Now, people don't realize this. Most of my clients, if not all of my clients, if it's not all, then it's 98% or 99% of my clients came indirectly from the church. So how do they patronize you in the corporate world when they meet you in church? Because I know how to communicate my results. Because I always find a place to let you know that I trained First Bank. I always find a place to let you know that I'm coaching businessmen. I always have a scripture that will connect with it so that you can know. It's all about communication. So by the time I'm communicating my results to you in church using scripture, but giving reference to the corporate world, then you know this guy is of 2 parts or 3 parts or 4 parts. So it can handle that other area as much as it's handling this other area. So they open those doors for me. So communication is very important. So let's leave there. Now let's start talking about how do you get results? How do you get results? Respect will come automatically once you have results. And you know, people say, no, I want people to respect me. No, they won't respect you, forget it. They want to see something for us before they can say, okay, you know what, let us follow this guy. I used to be on the receiving end for a long time. I always want to fight for it. I always want to demand it. I always want to enforce the respect. But after a while, I realized that the more you try to enforce respect or demand respect, the more respect eludes you. It eludes you. So I came to a conclusion that no, don't fight for respect. Let your actions, let your results, let them speak for you. People will respect you automatically once they see your results. So leave respect alone. Respect will come. You learn how to get results. Once you learn how to get results, respect will come in automatically. I will encourage us to get this book. One of my books, this can help you. It's called the Individual Competitiveness Book. Individual Competitiveness Book. The Blueprint for Peak Performer. I'm not sure what I've taught this in this class. I have a formula here that can help you. You just need to grab this book. The formula, most of us know I've been teaching it for over 10, 15 years before I put it in a book. And the book, the formula is what you know plus how you express what you know. What you know plus how you express what you know. Multiplied by who you know and who knows you. Now, that formula is my winning formula. Whatever you see me achieve today is based on that formula. I work on it, I use it, I flog it, and it has always worked. It's evergreen. Ever present. It can work anywhere, places. What knowledge of you and knowledge of yours. You need to be aware of that. Knowledge of your environment, knowledge of your career, knowledge of this. You must acquire that knowledge. Knowledge of you and knowledge of yours. How you express it shows that how do you communicate this knowledge that you have. Your knowledge is actually your results. PhD, the soul is communicating the knowledge. That's why they give her a doctor. Because if she just Vera, they may not know she has a PhD. That's why sometimes the people who are even doctor right now, you need to be putting PhD at the back, at the end of your name, so that they will know that it's not honorary. Emmanuel, I hope you can listen to me. It's not honorary. It's more like you worked for it, because there are so many doctors now that are honorary. So you need to differentiate that. We see a lot of doctor this, doctor that, doctor this, doctor that, doctor. But yours is PhD. It's not, it wasn't given. You earned it. So that on its own is knowledge. So they gave you that certificate and that right to use PhD so that you can express that things, know knowledge, then you know how to express this knowledge. And then I shared some things in this book on courage, creativity, and the communication. It will help you a great deal tonight. Then the next thing is what you know plus how you express what you know, multiplied by who you know and who knows you. That talks about your social skills. That talks about your emotional intelligence. That talks about a lot of other things about relationship. Relationship must be vital for you. Relationship must be important for you. You just must go out there and know how to make friends. The best guy does not get the best job. The best guy does not churn out the best results. It's the best guy with the best relationship that churns out the best results. You must realize that what you know is always amplified by the people you know. And then once you figure that out, that will more or less move your results generation away from the arithmetic level to the geometric level. And then I don't want to be predictable. I want to go into the geometric realm that people will not be able to even understand why this guy is even getting all this kind of result that he's getting. I'm right there in that space right now. And then that is also very important. So before we go on to all this, let me just talk about one thing that can help you with your results. Look, nobody achieves outstanding results without courage. Courage. Courage is key. Courage is key. And I think I shared it before. Some of you have been following this teaching for a long time. You realize I shared it before using the story of Dubai. Using the story of Dubai. And then I shared how they got their so-called breakthrough as much as they can since 1979. But that breakthrough actually happened because of not the present emir, not the present sheikh right now, the ruler of Dubai. Happened when Sheikh Rashid bin Said Al Maktoum was the ruler. At that point in time, the man, 1979 was the breakthrough year for them. 1979 was the breakthrough year for them. At that point, they can you reach this out here? They were able to build the port of Jebel Ali, and then the Dubai Aluminium Company and the Dubai International Trade Center, and they got the tallest building in the Middle East. But all these things started in since 1954 when they did the first. They call it the Creek Port. Now this the Sheikh Rashid bin Said Al Maktoum did a feasibility study. And then he knew that for them to change and achieve the kind of result and respect that people will give them, the first thing they need to do is to create a port. And then they went to dredge the creek. And then they had two berths that ships can come in and then take their oil and just discovered oil around that time, and then take their oil off, export their oil and everything. Then after a while, he realized that this is not going to be enough. You know what he did? He commissioned the port of Rashid. Yeah, the port of Rashid immediately. And then, the Creek port had two berths. Now, what's it called? Port Rashid had 4 berths for starters. Now, as they were going on the job, he increased it to increased it by 11 berths. Then it went into 15 from 4. Now they started with 2, they wanted to build 4, and then from 4 he increased it another 11 berths. That makes it 15. Now they were almost commissioning this new Port Rashid with 15 births, and then this man got crazy again. He got crazy again, and he said, you know what? They should increase it to 35. 35 births. Wow. And then it was more like it was pushing them because he could see the future. He could see the future, but he was courageous enough to go for this. Now, when he was doing all these things, he was still borrowing money, even from, he was borrowing money from Kuwait. And now you don't have the money. You're now pushing the old Emirates to do more of this, to break more grounds, moving from 2 to 4, 4 to 11, 4 to 15, and 15 to 35. And then just when they were about to commission this Port Rashid, which was named after him, he got another brainwave and said he was going to build the first man-made port ever. And guess what? They've not commissioned this. He commissioned another one immediately. And then guess what? That one has 67 berths that can take the biggest ship anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Now, you can see that if this guy has limited himself to his reality that he can see, and he cannot see the future, and even when you see the future, if you're not strong and bold enough to be able to take the future, you know what? You begin to lose the edge and the results you already have. So he went on and then had the port of Jebel Ali. And then you need to realize this, that this port actually gave them a whole lot of mileage. A whole lot of mileage. This port gave them 40% of the GDP in Dubai was given by this port, and 10% of the GDP of the old UAE supplied by this port, Jebel Ali port. And that transformed Dubai to the point that every one of us are always hungry. We are always praising the results that we see around Dubai. Guys, there is nothing you can do about it. If you do not have courage, you can't get results. If you do not have courage, you cannot get results. Bottom line. Remember, I said something about inspirational. Your result must be inspirational. When people see the amount of effort, they see the amount of stretch that you have done, the amount of courage. Courage is always inspirational. Always inspirational. Why do we love Mahatma Gandhi? Why do we love Nelson Mandela? Why are we singing about the lucky guys? It's because of the courage they exemplified. You have courage, you increase respect, because courage will always birth results. Courage will always birth results. So you must always go for courage at every point in time. Then the next thing you need to also be aware of, if you want to get results, is to get what I call to understand your energy level and to understand how you can generate energy. I think I've said that several times on this platform. You need to just go into one of our teachings and get to know how much you can do when it comes to generating energy. That is why I always tell people, I think we heard it with Dr. Chris 2 Saturdays ago, when he was talking about at the age of 19, we have stopped growing positively. Every other growth is negative growth at the age of 19. So when you get to the age of 35, you have to know, because you don't have energy, you may not have the capacity to generate energy as much as the guys who are below 35. So what you do is to understand how to conserve energy and to know how to utilize harness that energy, because everybody who is performing understands the importance of energy. I'm a performance strategist. When I'm trying to work on somebody to increase their performance, the first place I check on to increase performance is the energy level. And then for me as an individual, I do not dissipate energy unnecessarily. That's why you can never catch me in any kind of discussion. Or you see me now, the only discussion that I actually do so much with so much energy is football when I'm talking football. Because there's a way football gives me happiness. There's a way football makes me, especially when my team is winning. We won yesterday anyway. So we know the GOAT right now, whether there was one that had one corona or something. And at that, I couldn't play yesterday, but it was okay. Even if he had played, that doesn't mean we wouldn't have beaten them 2-0. Anyways, I saw somebody who was on this platform with that name. I was almost not going to admit him. You know, he had the name Ronaldo or something. It was small like this. I was not going to admit it. But it's okay. But what am I trying to say here is that your energy level must be intact. Your energy level, you must work on it, and you must be able to generate that. Go into our archives, you always see a teaching on energy management. Now, the next thing for us to do before we get into the Q&A right now is this. You want to increase your results. You must always maintain your winning edge. You must maintain your winning edge. And for you to maintain your winning edge, that means you must be able to maintain your competitive edge. You must be able to maintain your competitive edge. You must be able to maintain your, can you go to the next slide? Let me just, there's a definition of competitive edge here for people to know, and then we'll take it out from there. Okay, good. Now, to compete on the edge is to chart a course along the edge of chaos. What a better day to compete or to win right now in this midst of chaos. Now, many of you will realize that the brand Niyi Adesanya actually became stronger during this pandemic. Yeah, became stronger. The brand Niyi Adesanya earned more money during this pandemic because I realized that for you to win and to keep winning, you must always compete at that edge. At that very edge, that place of chaos, when everybody is giving up, you're pushing up. You're looking at how can I marry chaos and order, anarchy and order. That edge. That's how I can go here. I can't do this. I can't do that. No. You have to play at that edge. I've seen my finances, turn around, because my staff will tell you, if they can, that there's some decision I took in the last 1 month that normally I wouldn't have taken it. They were risky decisions. It's a matter of either I lose all or I win all. There was no room for a 40-60 or a 70-30 chance. It was more of either I lose 100 or I gain 100. Now, that is where people who will triumph and get more results will be competing on. That is competing on the edge. Now, it's a chance. It is to chart a course along the edge of chaos, where a delicate compromise is struck between anarchy and order. Anarchy and order. That's a place where you have to marry both. No, this is going to cause some real disruption in my organization. But if we do not do it, then we'll miss the opportunity to gain results. This is going to cause a whole lot of disruption when it comes to me. Because somehow, I do not understand this thing very well, but I cannot wait to understand this thing very well because time is of excess. So I need to push. And this is why you begin to talk to yourself, if I die, I die, and if I live, I live. That is how to compete at the edge. Many of you will realize that I'm one of the shyest person when it comes to camera. I don't like cameras. That's why you've not seen me do a lot of videos and a lot of stuff like that. But I knew very well that, look, guys, if you really want to thrive in this season, you have to get in front of the camera. And then I didn't even know how much I could even teach on leadership. You know, sometimes because you don't talk every week, you don't talk every day on leadership, so you feel that you have some little bit of result here and there. But for crying out loud, we're almost getting to our 5th month of talking every Thursday on leadership. And you see that I'm even surprised at myself that, wow, so I've got this much on the inside of me. So look at our definition again. Go back there, like competing on the head, moving on the edge of time, where are shaped by past. This is be flexible and still consistent. You know, they say consistency is the game. So sometimes when we talk about consistency, it's not about staying consistent in that comfort zone. No. You have to be consistent and also very flexible. And living at that edge, competing at that edge, is trying to achieve that balance. Trying to achieve that balance. I've been flexible lately. Crazily flexible, but still consistent. Now, if you had asked me, okay, what do you want to do? What do you think we should do? Where do you think we should go? What is the thing that you want to talk about now? We're talking leadership. Let me talk about leadership. Let me go and train on leadership. But you know what? When the crisis happened, when there was COVID-19, I realized that the thing people want to hear is not leadership. The thing people want to hear is how do we get back our businesses on track? So that's when I realized that I teach people on business. So why throw leadership when you can throw business? But by default, any day, anytime team, I will hang on to leadership, not business. So I have to be flexible. What do you want to do? Business, business. My programs were all about business. And it was after I've done so well with business when I started bringing leadership out. So that no. Because of my love for leadership, programs. And then the next one is that also, how do you retain results? How do you keep results? How do you keep churning out the results? You must have what we call a result-oriented mindset. Result-oriented mindset. So what is a result-oriented mindset? A result-oriented mindset is that it's all about creating a repeatable, sustainable process. You know how to get results. You have gotten results. Once you know how to get results and you have gotten results, it must be teachable. It must be documented. Everyone who is coming after you should and must be able to follow the process to get more results. That is why when I organize, I don't sweat when I organize program again. There was that I would sweat myself out. I will stress myself to the point that even when I take a class, you would know that I'm tired. And because I did the organization of the event from beginning to the end. But now, I don't even show up at all. I just appear when my time is there. Why? Because we have been able to document how do you get results when it comes to programs like this? How do you get results when it comes to training like this? How do you get results? I mean, all those things are repeatable, and the reason why they are repeatable is because they are documented. People can see it. It's a process, and it is sustainable. Anybody who comes in to our organization automatically knows what to do. Their brush, their reorientation, orientation is going on. They know what to do. Everything is sustainable, repeatable. Why? Because it is documented. Now, the next thing, for you to have a result-oriented mindset, is for you to know how to teach those results. You must know how to teach those results. You must know how to teach, how to get those results. Teach how to get those results. Show people how to get those results. And exemplify, model how to get those results. Because that is where the joke is. Look, if you're the only one who gets results, your result can never be sustainable. Never. But when you help other people to get the same result or more bigger result than you have gotten, then your result becomes more sustainable. More sustainable. Lastly, and then we'll take questions. You want to get results? Stay and stick around winners. Stay around winners. Lobby to be around them. Look, that attitude, that mindset, that courage, that spirit, that believability, when it comes to winning, is contagious. It is contagious. When it comes to results, it is contagious. So when you hang around people that are winners, it's just automatic that you win. Look, even when you're a winner, and then they throw you into the midst of losers, it's just a matter of time you will start losing. No matter how great a footballer you are, if you don't have people who will support you to score, you will realize that after a while, you will lose your touches and you will wear yourself out. I learned this a very long time when I was in Form 4. Form 4, that should be 1986. Form 4. So you can figure out my age now. Don't worry, you can't anyways. Because I was the youngest in the class, so I'm compounding the situation for you now. 1986. 86. I was in Form 4. I was very poor when it comes to maths. Mathematics, I was poor. Then a friend of mine came to the house. And then he was discussing with my dad. I can't forget. Longitude and latitude. I didn't even know what longitude and latitude meant. I mean, in Form 4, they were talking about it, and I couldn't make any contribution. I felt so ashamed of myself. Without being told by my dad or by my friend, I had to go and start soaking myself into maths, trying to find out what longitude and latitude meant. And my first sitting, I cleared mathematics in my Y within Form 4 and Form 5. Less than a year or 1 year, a little bit over 1 year, I became so much in love with maths. I loved it. I wanted it. Why? Because I hung around a winner. And because he was winning, and because he was having a discussion with my dad, that kind of inspired me to go and learn what they were talking about. That is what happens when you are hanging around people who are succeeding. There's just something about their life. There's just something about what they say. There's just something about their comportment. There's just something about their environment that is contagious. Because they win, you always want to win. I think I've shared this story with you several times, guys. I told you how I started doing all my coaching, raised my coaching fee from $500 to where it is right now. I mean, thousands of dollars right now. Why? Because I hung around the winner. I watched it. Once he did it, then I saw that it's possible. Once he achieved it, I said, well, okay, if you can do it, then that means this is possible, then I can do it. Because there's always that atmosphere. That's why the guys who are smart understand and know that they must manipulate themselves, break the door if possible, pay their way into some kinds of gathering. Because it is at that gathering that winning formulas are observed. Now, remember what I say, observed, not taught most of the time. They teach it, but most of the time it is observed. It is observed. It is something that they get from hanging around people. So the question now is, who are you flocking with? Who are you hanging around? Are they losers or are they winners? Are they losers or are they winners? You want to raise your result game? Then you have to hang around people who got results. People who can talk results. People who can speak results. People that whenever you're with them, they are always talking about it. They are always talking about it. They are always talking about it. That's where the joker is. So when we say you join our community, there's a reason why we say you join our community. We have results. We have results. Now look at it now. I have a group of people who are in my think tank. I mean, the kind of result those guys are getting during this pandemic is mind-blowing. 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 One of them is going to be with me on Saturday at the morning series, Solomon King. You need to come and hear his story. I knew Solomon King when he was like this. Now what Solomon King is pulling, a young guy. What he's pulling right now is mind-blowing. Achieving results in the midst of crisis. That's why one of the topic I gave him to talk about is that, look, come and talk about maneuvering, money maneuvers in crisis economy. How do you maneuver money in crisis economy? We have results. Hang around people who produce results, and your result will go up. Once your result goes up, clients, people will respect you. I mean, people will respect you once your result climbs. I've seen that change in my life. I've seen people walk up to me, I mean, offer me things I have never been offered before in my life. Sometimes you just look at it, okay, hold on first. Let me think about this. Let me check this out. Where are they coming? And I think it was Clement Oladipupo that said this. He said, money is an attraction. But result is an attraction also. Result attracts money and money attracts more money. I think I will stop at this point. And if we have any question, we can take it up. But know this very well, guys. No result, no respect. Don't try to fight for result. Don't try to fight for respect. Fight for result. Know how to get more result. Courage, energy level. You need that energy level. Guide it. Be jealous about your energy. Don't just dissipate energy everywhere. Everybody can never be my friend. I can't hang out with everybody. I can't talk to everybody. I can't get into every discussion. I can't watch all the kind of programs. I can't listen to anything, everything. No. By the grace of God, next year, June 27th, I will be 50. I have limited time again on this earth. So if I'm going to be 50 by June next year, you know that I don't have as much energy as most of us on this platform. So that's why you won't see me get into some conversation. You won't see me get into some kind of protest. I will protest with my energy level that I know will get the results. But most importantly, energy important, courage important, and again, who do you hang out with? And don't forget this, competing at the edge. Competing at the edge. You have to be at that edge, not in the comfort zone, not in the midst of crisis, but at that edge. That is where the victory is. Taking risks, but make sure that they are calculated risks. Probably we'll talk about calculated risk one of these days. No. Join us on Saturday. We'll talk about calculated risk. I'm sure Solomon will hit on that when we talk about that on Saturday. So, okay, now over to you right now. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helps.
Pastor Niyi, thank you so much. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm blown away. I'm blown away once more. Please, let's go to the chat room and say thank you to Pastor Niyi. Let's go to the chat room. Let me see you chatting there. Say, Pastor Niyi. I've taken down a couple of things. I know every other person here has. I'll just read out a few. He said, respect will come when you have results. And the communication is very key. If you agree with me, tonight Pastor Niyi has demonstrated communication. The messages he has passed to us today is very, very clear. He has communicated very key. And that is something we must take home. This is something that we must know that's very critical to pass the message out there. That also, he has not talked about the Speakers Academy today, but that is also something where you can improve your speaking skills. I'm sure Pastor Niyi will talk about that again, but let's quickly go to our question and answer session. I'm sure he has spoken a lot today. Let's not forget our ground rules. If you want to ask questions, please, you must have your video on. You must have your video on because we want to be sure, we want to know who is speaking, and we want to ensure that at least our message is getting out there. So it's our ground rule here that you must have your video on. So please, there is a raise hand function you have there on the Zoom platform. If you have a question, please just go out there, put your raise hand function, or if you can also type your questions on the chat room, and we'll read those questions out. So that will help us to deal with certain issues that probably Pastor Niyi has not talked about. But okay, let me give Pastor Niyi the opportunity to talk about the Speakers Academy as well. It's going to help you come out boldly to pass your message. It's very clear. You can have all the experience, you can have all the result, but if you don't communicate it right, the result will never come. Then also, he talked about courage. Courage is a very, very important key. You must have the courage. Living on the edge, chasing the result like it's falling away, you are picking it up. And that is what has happened here. Pastor Niyi, I'm blown away again tonight. And I'm sure every other person here already is taking away. Please, let's put those questions coming in. And I'm waiting to see those hands up. Pastor Niyi, back to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sir, I should talk about the Speakers Academy. I think we'll be talking about it. It's just fine-tune your communication. Look, the key here is not about your results. The key here is also very much about how you communicate those results. Because it's very important. People sometimes, have you ever been in a place that people say, wow, we didn't know that about you? How come we're just getting to know that about you? Anytime you hear people tell you, we didn't know that about you, or how come we're just getting to know that about you, know that you have lost so many opportunities in their circle. You have lost so many opportunities. How come we just knowing that about you? So, guys, every opportunity that you have, you must be able to communicate your results. That's why I love it when the people who take 10 minutes here, what they do is to show you their profile, what they've done. What they've done. And in our community, there was a time the last Sunday we were together and people were telling people what they do. I remember I heard Femi Adeniba say that he lectures in, in Lagos Business School. Wow. I didn't know about that before. And Lagos Business School is the most prestigious business school in Nigeria, if not in West Africa. So you'll be lectures there, and immediately I realized that somebody was saying, I need your contact, I need your contact. Just imagine. I've known Femi for a long time, but I didn't know that he lectures in LBS. Do you know how much opportunities Femi will have gotten or could have gotten from me that I didn't even know until Sunday? So what we're trying to say here is that no matter the result that you have, you must know how to communicate it. And that's why OKODNA feels that I should tell you guys about the speakers online. And then for those of us who are in the community, you have to do, you just pay 15,000 naira. But those of us who are not in the community is 25,000 naira. I'm sure, I hope that is still valid. 25,000 naira. The total amount of the online school is 55,000. And go there, and if you need a coach, you can always call the school. They can arrange a coach for you at a discounted price also, because you need that. Look, I always tell people this: the more a doctor speaks, the more he gets clients. The more a lawyer speaks, the more he gets clients. The more anybody, whatever your field is, the more you speak, and you speak well, the more you get clients. The more I speak, the more people register for my business, what's it called? Business data. The more I speak, the more I get emails. Come and speak here, come and speak there, come and speak here, come and speak here. It's all about your ability to communicate your ideas effectively to people. The more you do that, the more you get opportunities. And the more you do that, the more people respect you. The reason why people give you opportunities is because they respect you. Remember the story of Saul and David and Goliath. It's because David communicated in his job. That was why he was given the opportunity to show himself as a potential guy, a guy that you should watch out for. And then from that day onward, when he did that, he was brought to the palace. Many of us, we are supposed to build a palace, but because we do not know how to communicate our victories, our results, that's why we have remained where we are. So that's why, look, I'm sure they'll put it on the link right now. Click on that link, get into that school. Learn how to communicate effectively. Once you learn that, and then that's the beginning. Look, 15,000, 25,000 is a giveaway. Take that from me. It's a giveaway. And the reason why it's happening because it's already online. It's already online. Nobody who did the faculty that you see on that video will ever take 25 or 55,000 naira from you to just start to train you. No, they will never do that. They don't be on that. But you can just go in there, get it done, and then move forward, because that is where the key is. Yeah. Okay, then let's go.
All right, Pastor Niyi, thank you so much. We're still looking at the chat room, the questions. Is there anyone, do we have anyone hand up there for questions? I've not seen anyone here, but if you have a questions, let's have them on the chat room, or get your hands raised up, and we'll look into those questions. I want to use the opportunity just to also mention something Pastor Niyi talked about. He said, what you know, it's one of the blueprints in one of the books, The Individual Competitiveness. He said, what you know, how you express what you know, multiplied by who you know and who knows you. All this knowledge is also a very, very important part and how we express ourselves. So I think this is something Pastor Niyi might need to just throw a little light again while we wait for the questions.
I don't think there's going to be a question today, because if there is, normally they will have asked those questions. It's either two ways. It's either I did a fantastic job and then there is no ambiguity in what I said, so there's no need for clarification. Or people are just tired. Let us go back. Let us get up here so that we can keep our data. But I will advise, if I have to go through that, guys, it will take a long time. So I advise that you get the book. I advise you get
like
the book.
We have a hand. We have we have two hands up now. Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, the second hand, don't call him. We're just trying to encourage. That's Emmanuel.
Excellent. Okay, so we have Theophilus
But
here.
before we go on, let me just talk about the book.
Okay.
Before. Now, you see, the book, you need to get it. Knowledge is important. What you know plus how you express what you know. You need to know how to express yourself. What do people look out for? How do I communicate my ideas? Because it's not about you having those ideas, it's not about how you communicate it. And lastly, I teach this like forever, your relationships. Your relationship gets you more results. Relationship gets you more results. I remember there was a time when we were going to Dubai this year, March. We started promoting it since last year. And people were looking at it. We didn't get a lot of patronage until I got Professor Pat on board. Once I got Professor Pat on board, and then before you know that, phone calls started happening. People started getting interested in the program. Now you can see the people I know actually amplified what I knew. Now, did they actually register for the program? No, but at least the interest was ignited. And then when people's interests are ignited like that, even if they don't patronize you now, you have bought a space in their mind. It's just a matter of time. Once you stay consistent, you still get their money, whether in 12 months' time, whether in 2 years' time, whether in 5 years' time. As long as you still stay on top of your game, they will still come back for you. So, guys, get this. Get this. Okay, I'm going to.
All right, Pastor Niyi, thank you so much. I had one Adeleke's hand up, it's like his hand is no more up, and we'll see how Pastor Eman. Okay, we have him here. Theophilus Adeleke, do you have your video on? You have your video on. Okay, yes, I see you, Adeleke. All right, I think we need to unmute him. Can we unmute him, please? Theophilus Adeleke, so he can take his question. Theophilus, I think you can unmute yourself from your end. Can you try that? Can you try to unmute from your end, Theophilus?
Okay, can you guys unmute Theophilus there? So when you unmute you now, Theophilus, they'll look for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think I'm in, sir. So thank you for always being a blessing. My question is, it's good driving personal results, but how do we drive results down within an organization? That's especially with a team where, as much as it is important to explicitly state where you are going or the direction we need to go, when you just have everybody buying in and having everybody buying in, and the team can work together to drive results. Because for me now, I run a business and I have people who work with me. So is it this same process? I just take it down within the organization and I can get the people buying in to drive results for the organization.
Okay, Theophilus, please forgive me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm gonna talk to him. Let me see whether I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you now.
Okay, can Theophilus repeat his question because I lost him for a while. I know he's talking about how do you get results in an organization, but I didn't hear the concluding part of his question.
Theophilus, can you take your question again, please?
Can you please unmute Theophilus, please? Guys, can you unmute Theophilus? Okay, Theophilus, can talk.
Okay, so my question is, being the leader of a team, I'm at the advantage position where I get all the data, everybody submits to me. So how with the data I get, how can I drive results down to the least person within the organization and make sure everybody just fall in line with a particular decision I think is best at that time, looking at the data I have. So, and everybody just works together as a team to get that particular result. Let's say, like, for example, now, okay, let's say, for example, like, say, okay,
go ahead.
we want to work more on customer retention and we want to push it from 30% to 50%. And I'm saying, okay, what we do is customers that are patronized twice, you call them, we share it among our team and say, you call them. How do you ensure that you drive the same results if it were to be me that and my subordinates, if it were to be them? Because there's a lot of disparity. If it's Oga, if I'm communicating with any customer, someone will have to buy because of the way I'm communicating with the person. How do I ensure that people who work with me too can also have the same kind of energy and the same kind of persuasion to drive result along patronage?
Okay, awesome. I think bottom line, this is it, Adeleke, Theophilus. This is a training, meetings. Very important. And you must realize these two things. Meetings, training. And then you have the data already. You have analyzed it. And again, you must use that data to come up with strategies. And then again, one other thing you can also do is to figure out the people who have gotten results. They need to talk more. This is how I've done it. This is what we have, our approach in getting this result. Like I said, there's something called fostering the winning mindset, the result mindset. How do you foster result mindset? Making sure all your results are documented and the approaches are measurable and then they are, visible for everybody to read. So what do we do in our own organization? There was a time that I was the chief marketing officer. I am still the chief marketing officer. I still talk to people because sometimes they want to hear you first, but you can't keep the energy that you want to create something to be following people up on what they need to do. You start up the conversation and then you hand it over to someone who can take on the conversation from there. But the person who's taking on the conversation from there must know all the facts that you know and must also understand the emotion, the way you communicate emotions, the way you communicate to those people to get results. So that is where training is. Now, training is more like classroom and then also modeling. You have to be able to model it. You have to be able to say, listen to me. I'm going to be talking to them right now. Listen to me how I talk to them. See how I bring out my point. So many things that you do it because of experience. Many of them don't have the kind of experience that you have. So it is teaching, explaining, and modeling that will shorten that experience gap for them. So our advice is, Theophilus, do more training with your people. Teach them how you've done it. But the question now is that, do you know how to communicate your ideas to them effectively? Do you know how to communicate your ideas to them effectively? If you do not, if you have not mastered that, so you'll just be talking and not training. You'll be talking and not speaking. You'll be talking to their head and not to their heart. And then there are so many strategies and so many ways that you can communicate heart-to-heart communication. But the best thing for you to do most of the time is to bring out the winners and let the winners communicate to the upcoming winners. Let them share their ideas, be in that meeting, document all your steps, document all your strategy. Let them ask you questions. Take them along when you're going for a meeting. Expose some of the things that you know to them. And then with that, with time, they begin to learn. But you must, intensify trainings and meetings. I think that will help you.
All right, thank you, Pastor Niyi. I think Pastor Emmanuel is hand up. He dropped a message that he has a question. So please let's unmute him. Pastor Emmanuel Noha. Let's unmute him, please, for his question.
Who is unmuting Emmanuel? Emmanuel should be able to unmute himself on this platform now.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much. If rapture were to happen before today, Dr. Vera and Okiogene would have faced serious judgment because they didn't give the world what they had.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a wonderful delivery. It reminded me of a question that always caused a quarrel in my administration class, which is, does the end justify the means, or does the means justify the end? So if no respect, no result, does it mean that the result will justify the respect? Does it mean that you should do whatever you can to get result anyhow? I think you have brought balance to it when you were talking about three kinds of views: your view, the world view, and God's view. You know, but I just want you to throw a little more light on that for some people who might have joined you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you, Emmanuel. What he says is that no result, no respect. But you know what? You can have results, but if you don't keep having the results, you will eventually lose the respect. Because you got my respect right now does not mean you will retain my respect. So one of the ways of you retaining my respect is to continue to have the results. And then once you want to continually have results, then you must also be very careful how you got the result. Because at that point in time, because I'll be studying you, trying to figure out how you got your result. So if there's some discrepancies or some imbalances in your process of getting your result, you lose me. Remember, when I started also, I told you that based on a very quote that most of us are aware of, that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I said that does not work in the initial stage of leadership because people are not concerned about how you care for them. They are more concerned about the results that you got. Because most people have not even gotten close to you to know how caring you are. They just got glued, attracted by your result, attracted by your achievement. It's when they get to you, that's when they begin to look at the means. It was the end that attracted them to you. But once they get to you, they start looking at the means. They start looking at the aspect of caring. They start looking at the aspect of integrity. They start looking at the aspect of how you conduct yourself. So if all those things have some damages or something, some shortcomings, you know what happens? You lose the respect. So this is what I always tell people. Some people say the means justifies the end. Some people say the end justifies the means. I say they both justify themselves. There's no point having the means and not getting to the end. And also, once you get to the end alone, you always have to check your means. So the means and the end justifies themselves because you get results, you get attracted to you. But when we look at the process with which you got the result, if it's questionable, you lose us immediately. That is where the care comes in. That's when we begin to pay attention to whether you care for us or you're just using us, whether you are promoting yourself or you're ready to promote the community. So that's where that balance is. The both should justify themselves. The end attracts you, but the means retains you. So you must be aware of that. The end and the means justifies themselves.
All right, thank you.
For that balance.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Emmanuel, for the question, and thank you, Pastor Niyi, for that elaborate answer. So both are very important, both the end to the means and the means as well. Okay, we still have a question from Afam Nwokolo. I've not seen your picture, your video. So Afam, can you put your video on, please?
He's raising his hand.
Afam, okay. Okay, I see his video is on now. So can we unmute him, please?
Right.
Please, can you
Good
guys
evening.
unmute Afam Okolo? It's good to see you, Afam.
Yes, sir. I just want, I don't have a question, but I just want to thank you, because if there would never have been any AFAM without you. I remember when I just left school. I mean, I left school frustrated. I didn't know what to do with my life, and that was when I met you. And then since I met you 2012 till this time, I can say that the success story has been huge, right? I mean, I never knew I could make money from speaking. I never knew there's a business of, there's business in speaking until I met you. And then, I mean, my first money I made from speaking was around, I think around 3K or so, or 2K. And it was from you and through Learn. But now I make money in millions, right?
Wow.
I have a fantastic home. Yeah, I have a fantastic family. I never knew I could even marry. I could even get married doing public speaking. But public speaking training generally. I train for, big companies. I'm sorry, I've not. I've been prodigal to you for some time. I'm sorry, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back to my father. I've not come to you for over 5 years. I'm sorry, but I'm coming back. I'm tracing my steps back home. So I just want to thank you. I mean, you have been a huge blessing to me. A very, very huge blessing. That I can have a car of my own, live in Lekki, live in Lekki, have a fantastic family, doing training, doing speaking. I mean, if anybody had told me, I would have said it's not possible. But I want to thank you. My success story is you're on the first page. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I say Afam Okolo is a big boy. He lives in Lekki. I live on the mainland, so you can see what the Lord is doing. He lives, those people that live in Lekki, they say they are on the right side of town. So we that we live on this side of the bridge, they say we are on the wrong side of town, but it's okay. Thank you so much. And I hope we connect after this, and then please get into the chat room and see the community. I want you in that community, Afam, so that we can take our relationship from there. There's so much that we have to offer in that community. We're planning a program this Sunday, and it's all about, I think Emmanuel has the topic, I will allow him to talk about it. Okay, then I just note before we close this meeting, let Emmanuel talk about that meeting on Sunday for the community only. So if you want to be part of us, it's good you get into that link right now and then be part of it. It's going to be awesome. That is where I'm going to be devoting most of my energy. Most of my energy. What you see tonight is not my energy. My energy is actually going to be poured in that community because we have a goal to make them top 10% in their various fields. Top 10% in their various fields. And that's what we're out to do. In my own fields, in my country, in Nigeria, I'm not just top 10%, I'm top 1%. And as far back as 2010 and 2011, that's why sometimes you need to communicate what you do. I remember I was trying to get in touch with one person to go and ask him for mentoring. And then, I just went on his website and I looked at 2012, 2013, thereabout. I went to his website and I saw how much he was charging to speak. Now, there's a difference between what you charge and what you are paid, because what you charge will still be negotiated. So you mark up what you charge, so that when people negotiate with you, they will just bring it down a little bit to what is comfortable. So when you charge $2, that means you can still take $1. So you don't put it at $1. So when I saw what he charges, then I just called on my guy. Hey, come and see. Come and see. We were all surprised because what he was charging was what I was earning comfortably at just 1 gig. Just 1 gig. And this person I'm talking about, I'm not talking about my contemporary or my friends that you know. they're doing stuff and everything. I'm talking about a guy, one of the leading minds when it comes to probably branding in Nigeria and all those things. One of the leading. I mean, I just saw it. Wow. So sometimes your result is not known to all because you do not talk about it. So we have the results, we're showing the result. And please don't forget that those of you who can make it to the boot camp, please try as much as you can to get into that space. I think the people of the community are giving you a room, a way you can get in so easily. You just have to do the work. Or you need to get into that space because that space is going to be 100% inspirational, 100% impactful. Especially if you're in the speaking industry. Sometimes it's not about the content. Guys, it's not about the content. It is more about just sitting in a room and you are seeing what is possible in Nigeria. That event, the Niyi Adesanya Leadership Bootcamp, is second to none when it comes to delivery, when it comes to organization, when it comes, allow me to use the word showmanship. Showmanship when it comes to the knowledge industry, second to none. Second to none. We give it everything that we have. And much more than that, the impact, the result in individual lives is unmeasurable. So if you have got a dream as a speaker or as a leader or as a businessman, and the two guys who are speaking along with me are not speakers, they're businessmen. They know what to do. They touch it, they've handled it. They know the courage. They know what it takes to be courageous in leadership. So that is the place to be. Unfortunately, my friends from the UK, from Sweden, will find a way around it. I can see Tolutoro already saying, I'm in the UK, quarantined and everything. I can see her right now. But don't worry, we can find a way around it so that you guys can also see what is happening here because it's going to be inspirational. That is our catchword there, inspirational and impactful. You don't want to be left out. You want to be in that room. So do what needs to be done and get into that room with us. Thank you. Okay, again, over to you.
Yeah. Personally, once more, thank you so much for tonight and the message you have passed. Let me just use the opportunity also to communicate why I've also joined the Niyi Adesanya business professional community. Being a part of that community, being here for about 5 months, we are getting the nuggets, we are getting the information, but we now has taken it to the next level. Being a part of the community has exposed us not just to the information, but also to a network of people with young minds that are ready to be the top 10 in top 10% in their industry that they found themselves. And being a part of that, it's been only about 30 days that we've been, and everybody in that community has said we've gotten our worth. I think we joined when it was about $100, and it moved up to about $250. Though Pastor Emmanuel has also spoken and pleaded on the behalf of those that are yet to join, so that they can also join. So I think it's still pegged at 50,000 naira. So I want to enjoin everyone. Please look for the opportunity. The links have been dropped already on the chat room. Please go out there and join this community. Like Pastor Niyi said, on Sunday we'll also be having a meeting. And there, the bottom part of Pastor Niyi, that's where we get it. Here we just come and he doesn't even have time. He just goes around and just says a few things. That's where we get the bottom part. We get all that is required, all the information. He told us his personal family, what's it called again? He told us his family targets. He has his goals and all. He was able to put how he started and all. And we have all this information. We can but only replicate that in the industry. And we've heard testimonies here today, and a lot is going to happen. Please, now the door is open. We're just a few, we're about 50 or so. The door, I think the target is to get about 100 people into the system. The door is open. Please, let's jump in and make the best of this opportunity. So please, the link is already dropped there on the chat room. Please, let's go out there and join now, so we can be a part of the meeting on Sunday. Pastor Niyi, you told me to remind you about Pastor Emmanuel's comment?
Yeah, I need to talk about what's happening on Saturday. He knows the topic better than me. So please let me unmute Emmanuel. Let him talk.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Before we talk about the topic, OK said that we're just 15. Part of the reasons we are 50 is because we're using a filtering strategy to get people into the community. So we're not, it's not like on Facebook yet. It's not announced to the general public. We want to just filter some strong investments, and by investment I mean minds, to come into the community. So that's why it looks like we're just 50, and the 50,000, like I responded to someone, is actually a discounted rate. It took a lot of conviction and discussion to, and even appealing to the grace of God for Pastor Niyi to bring it down to 50,000. So please, let's take advantage of it. On Sunday, we are going to be discussing personality and self-awareness. Somebody just spoke today, Nwokolo spoke today and said that when he left school in 2012, he didn't know that he could make money out of speaking. And today he's making money out of speaking. Now that's impressive. That is because somebody in the person of Pastor Niyi helped him discover himself and helped him, discover some of the treasures that are hidden in his earthen vessel. So it's very possible that some of us will get to heaven, and part of the reasons why God will not be so happy with us is that he has invested so much in us and we used a very little percentage of those investments. So part of what will be happening to us on Sunday is that we are going to be discovering our personality, our strengths, some of the things that are hidden in us, some of the capacities that we do not know about, some of the things that we can do, some of the things that can actually fetch money for us and that we are disregarding. So it's a time for you to invite your friends, your loved ones to, come on the community, join the meeting on Sunday. It's going to be seriously impactful. You're going to leave that place better than you were before you came in. You're going to leave that place stronger, better, and more aware of yourself. Self-awareness is very key, very, very key. Imagine knowing all that you can do now, what you will do with that knowledge. So a lot of us are limited in our thinking because we don't even know how to use this product, this self that God has given us. So we're going to be having some experts come on the platform on Sunday to explain some of these things to us and help us explore deeper, within, in order to maximize our potentials effectively. I want to say thank you to Pastor Niyi again for this awesome session tonight. I really learned a lot and I took several notes. Thank you so much, Okogene, for this is just natural. And Dr. Vera, thank you. So when you were talking, I was watching the video to be sure that it was not another person, but I'm sure it's Dr. Vera. I was really impressed. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Vera. The more we do this, the more I'm sure that you'll be getting ready for bigger things and greater things. There are some levels I can't play at again. I can't play at that level again. To be stupid for me too. I don't even have the energy to. There was a time I would fly from one state to another. Go by road. I could do. There was a time I traveled from Enugu to Benin to go and speak. Enugu to Benin. Yeah, Enugu to Benin. Enugu to Ekiti to go and speak because the flight was not there. But these days, I don't think I can. I don't think I will attempt that. I Look at our attendance. So the room is actually open for most of us to be able to step into that place. No matter what you do, whether you're a doctor, there was a time I was speaking to some audiences at an international conference on stress management and their health. And I wanted someone else to do it, but they said they wanted me to talk. So I had to talk to one of my colleague and friend who is a medical doctor, and he tutored me, and I went to teach. And because we have treatment now, they won't know whether we just learned it or we have known it before. So we did a good job. The doctor, interestingly, the doctor was one of the audience, and I said, okay, let's get an expert opinion. And then he said, there's no opinion here. Everything that he said is just well. Why did I say that? There's some topics I can handle. There's some topics I will not even attend to handle. So there are people around, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer, anything that you do, there is something for you if you stick around and you're with us. Okay, I'm going to taking a class very soon. I'm a project manager. I manage projects, but I don't know how to teach project management. I know what to look out for, but I can't teach it. It's going to teach it. I'm not going to do something about productivity or whatever. I don't know about productivity. But do I produce? Yes, I do. But it's not everything that I can do. It's not everything that I should do. It's not every job that I should take. But I always tell people I can take all the jobs. Why? The Bible says you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. I believe that. But also, there's another side to that scripture that can also help you. You can do all things through the people that surround you. You can do all things through the people that surround you. So once you have very able body, intelligent capacity, strong people to do everything. And that's what the family is for. That's what the community is for. So join Jones with us and do that. And please, I'll say again that look, you want to be inspired, get into the leadership bootcamp. That look, don't worry about the content. The content is super. You should know by now, but don't even bother yourself about it. Just go there for inspiration. There are sometimes you pay some things, not for any other thing. Let me just go for inspiration. Let me just go and see what is there. And then you leave there, you're wondering what just happened to you. That is what we deliver, the experience. Experience. We find more with the experience than the content. It's the experience. And then you get the experience. Content is not lacking. Content anyway, but the bootcamp, something that you ought to plan for. It's November 27th and 28th, the last Friday and Saturday of the month next month. So seats are filling up very quickly. So get your seat as quickly as possible. And then also don't forget there's everybody on this platform, on our community. Plan towards Dubai 2021. We're going to Dubai 2021, March 2021. Please plan to us and start saving to us. It's going to be a lovely time. Firstly, you've seen some videos that we recorded when we went this year in March, the yacht and everything. It was a lovely time, wonderful experience. You don't want to miss it. Just start planning towards that. And what should you be planning? Just save up to $2,000 to $2,500, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. 2,000, 2,000, $2,500. You'll be okay. We can enjoy ourselves together. Let us even use that for vacation. Relax. Yeah? Your works, calm down. Let us use the right to calm you down. Calm down. Let's go. Don't worry, COVID will be over by then. After November 3rd, the vaccine will come out. After November 3rd, the solution will come out. The reason why the solution is not out yet is because it's a campaign. It's a campaign point for some party against another party. So once that is clear, everything will come out very clearly. So guys, don't forget bootcamp next month. If you can make it, I think you should make it. get in there and get it done. Okay, somebody's asking how much is the book? I think the book, please can you type it? I don't know the amount of the book. I think I've lost touch with that. And then Dubai, like I said, Dubai, we're going to have three programs. The first one is the Niyi Adesanya Business Think Tank. This year, that went for $3,000. Ticket not inclusive. Accommodation, yes. Three nights, yeah. 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights, I guess. Accommodation. Then the second one is what we call the Niyi Adesanya Think Tank for pastors. That happens immediately after the business think tank. And that will communicate the price to you. It's not always as expensive as the business think tank. Because we shouldn't make money from pastors, but we should to cover the cost of their program. The time for them to relax and everything. Then we now take a 2-day break. The workforce will take a 2-day break. And then we now go for the third program. The third program is what I'm inviting other person. That will take care of what's it called accommodation ticket. When I say $2,000, I'm sure to take care of the accommodation, take care of the ticket, take care of also for as probably 2-3 days. Work with that. As you can see, when that is taking care of the accommodation and all that, then you realize that it's not about money making for us. It's not about us having a very, very wonderful time together. So if you're a businessman, you want to come back, so that's $3,000. If you're a pastor, you want to come back, let's say $2,000. But if you're here, you want to come there, you want to enjoy your life, tickets, and the pastor and what's it called? The pastor and the business, no ticket inclusive. But for us here, we want to just go on ticket, safari, whatever it is, that just start save up $50,000 and you'll be able to get in there. I'm not sure what that would mean from people who are coming from the UK or Sweden or South Africa. Well, when we get to that bridge, we will cross that. But that's what it is. But that's 4 months away. So whatever we need to do, let us just put in all those things in place so we can enjoy and be prepared for that. It's something, those of us who are working, try and apply for your leave around that time. Bring your spouse along if you're married. Just enjoy, relax. After you're done with the program, enter town, go shopping, enjoy your life, and then come back to Nigeria more refreshed, or go back to South Africa more refreshed, or go back to Preston more refreshed, whichever one, wherever you go, just go back refreshed. It's something we should look out for. It's going to be a lovely time, wonderful time. The experience of this year will not even, we can't forget it. So I'm sure you won't forget it. So guys, thank you for tonight. Saturday we'll be having Solomon King. He's an expert when it comes to investment, financial analyst. He's not just a financial analyst, he's also a member of the faculty of, he's a lecturer in the university also, and he runs a business in Bayelsa with branches in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and he's also planning to open one in Europe, I think in Portugal very soon. So let's come and listen to how we can maneuver money in this crisis economy. On Saturday, 7 p.m., you would not regret it. So invite your friends, your family, everybody. Anybody that you want to succeed, they must be here on Saturday. We'll share the link with you as soon as it is ready. You don't want to miss it. Once again, thank you. Okay. It's so nice that I know how to pronounce that name very well now. I think I must have gotten like 70 to 80% or 90%. But thank you so much for coordinating this program very well. You did absolutely well, and I'm impressed. And good. Vera, your 10 minutes was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. something that we'll keep talking about, and something that reveals to us that we need to do more. I mean, we need to give you more jobs to do. We've got so much inside there. We need to give you more jobs to do. And let me also use this opportunity to let Toluto know that next Thursday is your day. So we'll let you know which one you will do. So get ready. You are the first person that will tell 7 days before time. So sure, it's not what it takes. So guys, thank you so much for joining in. And wow, 30 minutes extra. But it's been a wonderful time. It's been a wonderful day. And see you guys on Saturday. Good. Do we have a music to play? Or we'll just say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, Engineer Popola Williams, for joining in. Tokotaya, you are always my guy, and I update you. Good to have you, Bolani Oshisoya. Good to see you, Kabir Adebola, the accountant. Nice to see you, Olusuti Oweye. Always a pleasure seeing you. And then Vincent, good to see you. Rukayat, good to see you again tonight. Rukayat, good to see you again tonight. Olushola Salawi. Okay. That's Salawi. Hope it's not a big Salawi, my channel. Okay, anyway, I feel tired. Adeboye, good to see you guys. Thank you for joining me. Wale, it's good to see you too. Jay, Adaba, you're holding me something, Jay, you're holding me something. So get across to us. And let us know how far we've gone.